Guys, all right. The injuries from the game. Greenlaw had groin; he was out, didn't return. Trey Sermon ankle, same thing. Fred Warner hamstring, same thing. Debo groin, same thing. Marcel was evaluated for head; he was cleared. Same with Bosa. Street had a wrist, didn't return, and that's it. Go ahead.
Any of those seems initially as long term?
We're not sure. I mean, we're hoping. We'll see on the MRIs with with Debo and Fred, but we're not sure yet.
Trey Sermon have X-rays that?
Yeah, they all do. His looked a little worse, but still, I don't know yet. We'll find out tomorrow.
Obviously, there were mistakes there, but did it just feel like this had the intensity almost like a playoff game? There was a lot of weight to this game?
Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's the weight because of, the playoff implications and records or things like that. I think it's the weight because of where the two teams are both at in the year. We didn't play. We feel as good of ball as we should have early in the year, and I think Minnesota, speaking for them, I think they felt the same. And I think both of us have been playing real good ball these last couple of weeks, and we knew we had some ground to make up, and that's why we believed it would be like a playoff game because of how when two teams are playing inspired and got everything on the line, and that's why it's a good football game for people to watch. It's not always the most fun, intense-wise for everybody, but I was real proud of our guys, how they handled it, and all the different stuff that came throughout the game. Right when it seemed we were good, we weren't, and guys just kept coming.
Not on that injury report was Elijah Mitchell, but how did he do today, and how's his finger?
It looked like it did all right. I threw him balls in warm-ups, and he didn't have an issue with it. You guys could see how he ran. He was a stud today, just how physical he played, and it didn't seem like there was any concerns.
Are you aware that you were one shy of 3 straight games for 40 rushes?
I wasn't. Our goal was to get more yards rushing today, which I think we did, which makes you not get as many run calls, so we'll blame it on that.
What determination on Mitchell made today? Would you play catch with him, or did you knew?
No, we asked him before, and we asked if he was good. He gave us a lot of confidence, especially here in these last couple of days.
More yards than the other team, or was it more yards than you've been getting running the ball?
No, I knew that we were going to have to, going against that offense and stuff. It wasn't going to be just about controlling the clock and things like that. We were going to have to get some yards to score some points, and that's why, some of the runs that we had, some of the big runs, usually it's tough to get that many called when you have it like that, but guys made some big plays. The D got those 2 turnovers in the second half, which were huge, and we were able to pull it out.
Elijah's strength or quickness, how much is his vision? I mean, he seems like he cuts back and just sees space very well, especially for a rookie.
Yeah, I'd say that's his number one attribute. I mean, he's good in the other areas, especially you mentioned, but he seems to hit the right spot almost every time.
Debo was obviously emotional on the sideline. He's in the midst of such a special season. Did you talk to him at all? I mean, what do you say to him now that he's dealing with this injury?
I think he was just disappointed. We have no idea what it's going to be like. I don't think it's as bad as you worry. We're hoping it's a low strain, and he feels that it might be. He felt it, which that's what happened to Debo in the first play of the game versus Washington last year. I think it's what happened to him in the fourth quarter versus New England. You can tell when he feels something, he stops right away. That's why I knew right away on the first step of that something was there. But by the time that he got to the sidelines, he feel like he saved a real bad injury, and we'll have to find out tomorrow.
How do you feel Jimmy Garoppolo played this game?
I thought he started off not great. It took him a little bit to get into it. Missed a couple on that first drive, and obviously that pick was inexcusable. He knows that. But the way he bounced back, I thought was great. He made some huge throws. The way we finished the second quarter, being able to score there. The drive to open up the third quarter. That throw to Juice there at 2nd and 10, that was a huge play in the game. Getting a Trent Sherfield on 3rd down there to start that drive was unbelievable, getting to that spot, and then the unbelievable play by Trent too. But Jimmy played good enough for us to win.
Getting that spot because he wasn't the intended target?
No, that's not where it started.
Camera showed you talking to Jimmy after the interception, and you've said you don't necessarily like to do that. You like to do it on the headsets. Why did that happen, and what were you communicating to him?
I just wanted him to hear directly from me. On the headset, I'm talking to coaches, and they can pass along information, and I just told him the obvious, what he missed, and told him to let it go, and we're going to come right back to you, and we need you to be aggressive with from the rest of the game, and he was, and handled it right.
Sorry. Obviously, the form didn't look great. You know, we could all see that. But
Which
when
one?
you say, Jimmy's interception. You say inexcusable. You rarely, are that harsh with your quarterback critiques. Why was that so egregious?
I mean, I just wanted to use a bigger word there than I usually use, and I'm a little amped up, so that was stupid of me. He knows it was. You know, he saw it, and, it wasn't a good play call. No one was there. He'd take the sack or he hit the check down, and he knew that, and I knew it because I could see it wasn't a good play call as soon as I called it. So that's kind of what I meant. Like, it's not like it had a chance. So we got to count on you when it doesn't have a chance. We don't need those heroics right away, and he understood it pretty well.
On the play, deep ball to Debo down the right sideline there toward the end of the game, you were running down the sideline there. It looked like you were trying to get. What was going on?
I was just alerting the ref that we were about to double move that guy and that he was going to PI him. Just to give him a heads up.
Is this team finally starting to hit its stride with last month of the season coming up now?
What's that?
Is this team starting to finally hit its stride after losing 4 in a row, and now you have 1 month left, and you guys got all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely played our best football these last 3 games, and just in all 3 phases. I thought this one was a huge one because it was a little different than the last 2. Because it came down to the wire, and things went good for both sides at certain times in the game, and then the momentum flipped a number of times. I thought we had the momentum big time at the beginning of the game. That's why I was a little disappointed with a couple missed plays on offense in the pick, because I felt like we lost it right there. And at the end of the second quarter, I thought we gained it right back. Then we were able to score on the opening drive of the third quarter, and then the defense getting that turnover and getting us down there right away. And all the guys that went out in the second half. It was really cool, the adversity our guys kind of overcame. And, right when you feel like you have the momentum, the kick return, which kind of flipped it back. And right when we went on that long drive, we thought we had it. Then when we missed the field goal, and our D didn't hesitate. They went out there and stepped it up. And I was just really proud of everyone on the team and everyone involved in this building.
That sequence at the end of the first half, and then you get the ball back and score again, and then the turnover. But when you take over in the second quarter with whatever it was, 8:20 left, there's always, with the way you guys work the clock there around midfield, always, I'm sure, leaves some anxiety with the fan base.
I can tell.
Did that work out exactly like you drew it up and wanted it to be?
Yes, it doesn't always go right, but that went exactly how we wanted it to go. It's 3rd and 11, and they're really good third down defense. We're in field goal range. They have 3 timeouts. We had 1, I believe. Yeah, we had 1. And we wanted to make sure we didn't give it back to Kirk and that offense with 3 timeouts. So when it was 3rd and 11, we'd take the clock down long enough to where if we do get the first, we still feel we have a chance to score. But we're going to make sure if we don't get the first, they don't have a chance to score. So that was the goal on that. But then Jimmy made a hell of a throw to Ayuk, which got us down there. And then I think we scored to Juwan. I think it was the next play. So that worked out perfect. And again, the ball in the third quarter is why you try to lap someone.
Kind of cat and mouse, because you guys went to the line of scrimmage quickly on 3rd and 9. Did you not want them to call a timeout?
No, that's because it was it was right before the 2-minute warning, so I knew I wasn't going to call a play. So we ran to the line to the first one where we went up there and we did a couple motions and didn't snap it. We were trying to get it to get them off sides because we knew we weren't going to snap one. Then there was another one.
Well, it was what would it have been? It was the 3rd and 9. You guys go up to the line of scrimmage. They didn't call a timeout, and you finally call a timeout.
That one we did because we weren't in the right spots. Okay. Yeah, the time before it, we went up there, faked it because we knew we had the 2-minute warning. We just tried to draw them off sides. Then we rehuddled, went out. We didn't have the right guy in the right spot, so we called a timeout. Then the next one, we meant to run it down.
Without Greenlaw, even today at times without Fred Warner, how important has Aziz been for you this year?
Oh, Aziz has been huge. Just the plays he's made. Greenlaw, losing him after week 1, after the first half, Aziz had to come in and play like a starter, and he's done that before in the past, but he's definitely done it this year, and I think he's been one of our better players. The energy he plays with, how he runs around, he's prepared every week, and getting his hands on those 2 balls at the end were great. And all the linebackers, we lost Greenlaw, lost Fred, Marcel came in, and it was frustrating. He had that big hit, so they evaluated him for a concussion. Which is understandable, but that was also at the end of the third quarter. So we sat there for 5 minutes when the commercials were going and stuff. Then they blow the whistle, re-huddle, and then they pull him out to evaluate him. So we missed him for a whole drive. That's why, K1 did a great job because we had to play nickel for a lot of stuff, and all those guys stepped it up.
Mitchell that enables him to, it looks like he got one, but no, he got three. He gets three, and no, he got five. And it seems to happen all the time. Is that something you can coach him to do, or you just have it, or you don't?
You try to coach guys to do it, but it's pretty hard to. Guys got to. I mean, that's the style he plays with. I mean, he runs the right holes. We know he's talented, but that's also what's inside of him. I mean, he is gritty. He competes for every single yard. And I always tell, it makes me easier to call runs. One of the biggest things for me as a play caller, and I tell those guys, is when I see with my own eyes that it's going to be 2nd and 10. So I start to look down and think about what I'm calling next, and then people in the box tell me it's 2nd and 6, and I don't totally believe them because I saw that he was going down, and I don't realize that he fell forward and got 4 yards. And when it's like that, which he does all the time now, you keep going. It helps you keep doing it.
I don't know if you were looking at almost everyone else in the NFC race around you lost, or everyone did. I think you're going to be a game out of 5th place now in the NFC. Is it almost feeling like things are breaking for you? Do you see that?
No, and that's good to hear, but I don't know any scores right now, and it's way too early to care. I mean, you look at that stuff at the end of the day, but, what do we have left, 6 games? 6 games, and there's a lot left to be played. I mean, last year at this time, we were moving to Arizona this Tuesday night, so I'm fortunate for that. Hopefully these next 2 days, nothing changes, but we were there for a long time, so we got a long.
Question. How much trust do you have in him? To give him the ball 27 times with a broken finger, and as a rookie, guys like, veterans, you've had trust built up over years. But how did he sort of earn your trust so completely this season?
You got a gut of it through training camp, just watching him every day in practice, and then when Raheem went down, on the second play versus Detroit, just watching him go in right away and just no hesitation. That looked exactly how he did in practice, and but what he did the next week versus Philly, and playing through a number of those injuries he had, just nothing's too big for him, and and he's honest too. That's why he didn't play last week, because he couldn't fully protect himself, and it was close, but he couldn't. And this week, as the week went, when he said he was good, he means it, and earns your trust.
Obviously, Sanu's out, but what's been happening with Juwan Jennings behind the scenes that's allowed him to be in a position to have the trust to be a target in a key moment like that game?
We were hoping for it in training camp, and he was close. And he had a setback to start with COVID. I think he missed 10 days, and right when he started to come on and push for more playing time, I think he had a setback versus the Chargers where he was out about a week and a half. So just really went into the season unhealthy and missed a lot at the beginning. So he just wasn't one of the top guys at the time. And when you don't earn that spot in training camp, it's really tough to get it back because there's not a bunch of competing in practice. You put in a 3rd down plan, and you want the guys who are doing it to get those reps. And the way Sanu had been playing, Sanu earned it. First of all, he was definitely one of our top 3 guys throughout camp. But the way Sanu was playing for us to start out this year, I thought he was one of the more consistent, better guys. And Juwan's been waiting for his opportunity, and it happened when Mo got hurt. And each week he's gotten better and better, and we like having him out there.
It's easy to see why you give the Mitchell so often, but close to more than or close to 30 carries the last 2 games. Do you have to be cognizant of making sure he makes it to the end of the season?
Yeah, you always do. Yeah, there's certain things with wear and tear, that people talk a lot about, which I think it comes down to less about wear and tear and more about not getting hurt, which obviously the more carries you get, the more chances you have to get hurt. But I don't always just correlate carries with that. But percentages go up, but we're not going to ever be sitting there in the game and be worrying about that totally. But we're aware of all that stuff, and I think we do mix it around, but we usually go with the guy who we think is most effective on a play. All right, thanks, guys.
through the play where you forced the fumble?
Well, it kind of happened so fast. I don't even know what happened. I know just penetrated through the backfield and grabbed Cook, tried to reach for a ball, kind of came out, and after that, it kind of was just a blur.
Did you tell right away that he was injured?
No, I didn't know. Somebody had landed on me too, so I was kind of just laying there too. So.
How different was it late in the game when Fred wasn't in there, and how do you think you guys adjusted?
I mean, we just kind of rallied around each other and tried to just get the job done. Big time game this week, so we needed each other to get through to win.
A vocal player before games, during games, in the huddle. Who sort of takes over? Who becomes the voice of that defense?
I feel like we all kind of just chipped in, tried to make plays, do whatever we can to just keep the thing going. You know, if somebody goes down, we just keep it going.
How did you get to that code so quickly?
Well, that's kind of our scheme, kind of just attack, and I knew I was getting a reach block, so I played behind it, and that's what happened.
Give us a feel of what it's been like in that locker room, starting with the past 3 games.
Yeah.
Does it feel different in there?
I mean, yeah, because we're winning, but that's just the way it should be. I mean, we didn't start the year out how we wanted to, but we're showing people like the team we are now, so it's been good.
I know you don't tackle to the ground during practice almost ever, but you must have gone against Elijah Mitchell enough. What is it about him that enables him to, even when it seems like he's stopped, he always gets a couple more yards?
Me just watching practice, how he just keeps driving his feet and just once he gets in that hole, he just kind of just goes there and just pops out. So, I mean, kudos to him, but he's having a good year.
All right, guys. Thanks, Ev.
Thank you.
Wow. Hey, everybody.
What's the shirt?
Oh, I got my Elijah Mitchell shirt on. I think he deserves it today. He had a good one. 27 carries and 130-ish yards. That's a good day to come back from a couple weeks off.
What has impressed you most about him?
I mean, if you just watch him when he runs downhill. And a play that's blocked for 3 yards ends up being 7 yards. A play that's blocked for 1 yard ends up being 4 yards. When he gets hit, he always falls forward. I mean, that's in the NFL. You have to be able to, as a running back, you have to be able to break arm tackles. You have to be able to fall forward. If you get pushed back on some of those, second and longs, all those, that type of stuff. But he just runs his tail off. He's very physical, and he just makes quick decisions. He doesn't second guess himself. He just runs downhill, which is what you need to do in our offense.
There's something about his demeanor or the way he carries himself that it's allowed him to adjust so quickly to the NFL.
I think he just loves football. I mean, he shows up every day. He works. He's there every day when rehab's supposed to start. He's on time for everything. He does everything that he's supposed to do, and I think just because he does everything he's supposed to do, it just sets him up for success, and that's what you want to see in a rookie.
Does he surprise defenders with his power? He doesn't look that big.
100%. I think he surprises everybody. It just like when you're fast. I don't want to compare him to Raheem because I think Raheem is very unique in his skill set, but Elijah hits the holes downhill like Raheem does. He's not going to run at 23 miles an hour, but that 5 yards in between where he gets the ball through the line of scrimmage, he's just so explosive and so fast that I think guys just, I'm going to get him with an arm tackle because he's not the biggest back in the world, but he just runs through arm tackles. And you saw that he had a catch that he broke a tackle on, fell forward for 13 yards, something like that. He just does it consistently.
What's the feeling in the locker room now compared to what it was a few weeks ago?
Well, that was really stressful. So, sigh of relief. That was a tough one, but we're excited. Our defense. We had a turnover early, and then our defense comes right back, and they get 2 turnovers. Shout out to Aziz and our guys for stepping up. And that's been our that's what killed us early on. Was we just had so many turnovers, and our defense wasn't getting them. And now our defense is helping us out a little bit, and that allowed us to get that win.
Are you guys paying any attention to where you are in the playoff race because you're moving up every week?
Nah, we got 6 weeks left of football. A lot can happen in 6 weeks. We got a hell of a challenge coming up this week. Going to a great stadium. A team that I think people say are struggling, but whenever we play them, it's always a really, really good game. So, just excited for that challenge.
You said that maybe going into this game, you guys almost felt like it would be a sort of like a playoff game, just the intensity. Did it feel like that?
Oh yeah, I think the atmosphere was amazing. I think our crowd brought it. The faithful always bring the energy. We gave them some things to cheer about today, and just the intensity, the passion from the fans. It definitely did not feel like week 1 or 2. It felt like we were rolling, and definitely felt like a higher stakes game.
Jimmy didn't start out with the best day today, but he ended up locking it and having a much better day. Was there anything in particular that you saw from him that kind of helped him focus in?
You just got to pitch and catch, and once you get 1 or 2 under your belt, then you start rolling. That's all it is. And I think Jimmy did a great job, and bouncing back. He had a couple overthrows early, but he made the plays when we really needed them, and he got guys the ball when they needed to get those passes. And whether it was Juice, Ayuk, guys made big plays there at the end of the game.
He's going through that through a game. What is he like on the sidelines?
Totally fine. He said, "Hey, I'll be better," and that's kind of how we are. Hey, we got to play better. And that's what he did. He came out and he played better. I think our whole team played better after those first 2 drives.
What has Deebo Samuel done for your offense the past 4 games in particular?
Everything. We can just go out and every personnel, and they don't know if we're going to be throwing the ball or he's going to motion to the backfield. And when he's in the backfield, you don't really know what we're going to do. I think he just adds a dynamic to our offense that you can't really prepare for. Sure, load the box. You can put out, base personnel if you want to. And when we have 4 wide receivers out there and he's a running back, but we can just throw it out of that and you're going to get someone matched up on a linebacker that's bad for you. So he just allows us to, put the defense in positions where we want them. And I think that's why we've been doing it so much.
When you look at where you were 3 weeks ago, was there ever any doubt that you'd be able to bounce back to the level you guys have?
No, I think that we have really good football players on this team. I think we have really good coaches, and we are just underperforming. Like I said, turnovers kill you. You can be one of the best teams in the league, and if you have turnovers, there's nothing you can do about it. If you're +1, it's like an 80% chance of winning. If you're +2, it's 90-something. When you're -3, it's kind of hard to win. We haven't done that since Pittsburgh in 2019. So we're just taking care of the ball, and I think I've always said we practice well every week. We always have high level practices. But the longer you get into the season, I think guys are feeling it. I think we're really taking a step forward as a team, week to week.
Do you feel this team is hitting its stride right now?
Say again?
Do you feel this team is hitting its stride right now going into this final 6 weeks?
Yes and no. I mean, I think the last 2 weeks are definitely way cleaner as a whole team performance. Our defense got a pick or a turnover early, and we didn't respond well as an offense. Like, we had an opportunity to go down and score, and we didn't. And then our offense started going, and then I think we had like 21 points in like 2 minutes or something like that. And then, our special teams, they're going to say they didn't play at the level they wanted to play. I thought we had a lot of good plays on special teams, but kickoff return for a touchdown's tough. And so, but we played at a level where if one phase wasn't playing well, the other two would pick it up. And that's kind of how the last 3 weeks have been. But I definitely feel like our offense, we felt a groove there. I think we had another 20-play drive, which I think that's pretty elite. And then our defense stepped up, especially when we had a couple losses out there when guys, we had a couple injuries. But people were stepping up, and in the time that we needed them to step up.
This team is on a record. Oh, good.
Kyle said he went over to Jimmy after the pick. He wanted to tell him to his face, what he thought instead of over the headset. Do you find Jimmy responds when in those moments when maybe you gotta look him in the eye and say you need to be better?
You got to ask Jimmy that question, man. I think Kyle says everything to our face instead of over the headset. He's on the field. I don't know. Jimmy will be here in a sec.
Just said, you guys get away with a lot of holding. I'm curious if you have a response to that, or
yeah?
how you would describe your run blocking.
Yeah. I get away with a lot of holding. I think if you're running your feet and your hands inside, just because the guy spins and flails his arm, it's not holding. He's just flopping. You can watch plenty of pass plays. I finally got a holding call out there in a pass route. I got hugged and tackled, and I think there were like 3 of those out there that don't get called. It's football, Refs throw flags. Refs don't throw flags. It's just the game. And if you're going to sit on the sideline and complain about holding the whole time, I tell your guys to make better plays.
Last one, you guys are like on a record pace scoring touchdowns in the red zone. You go 4 for 5, I think, today. Is there great pride in that, and why do you think you're so good in the red zone?
Because you have to be. If you don't score touchdowns, because we ended there with 2 field goals at the end, and we gave Minnesota a chance to come back and win. You have to score when you're down there. And I thought, we did a great job, especially after Aziz's interception, and then we scored the next play. You just have to score touchdowns if you want to win games. Everybody in the NFL is good. Everybody can score, but tonight it kind of felt like whoever gets to 40-ish first is going to win the game.
Thank you, George. Good to be here for you.
Thanks, guys.
Kyle said that whenever something goes wrong, you usually
Can't hear you.
whenever something goes wrong, you usually can feel it right away. What happened on that play? What did you feel?
My groin got kind of tight once I went to make a move, so I was just like, let's not make nothing any worse, and that's why I just went down.
What's your level of concern about it?
Not too much concern. Got MRI and stuff in the morning. We just go see how it goes.
You shared a kind of emotional moment with D'Amico Ryans there on the sideline when you're walking around after the injury. Was there anything he said to you in particular?
Basically just keep my head up. Kind of went in a dark spot when I wasn't able to keep playing, so you know how that goes with injuries. But just like all the guys was like, just keep your head up. You'll be all right, just that in the third, and that's all it was.
After a few plays, I saw you giving water to Elijah Mitchell, and what was that moment like? Obviously, you got to stay in the game. You got to keep motivating your teammates somehow.
I just, you know what I'm saying, I would want him to do the same thing if I ran the ball like 7 times in a row and can't breathe. So he came over to the sideline. I was like, hey, let me get a water bottle, and you know what I'm saying, just give him some water, put it down his neck, let him get a little breather, and just get back out there and play.
All runners have different styles. How would you describe Elijah's style? Kyle was talking about how he'll look at a call, he'll think it's 2nd and 10, and he'll find out, no, it's 2nd and 6, because he went for 4 yards and he didn't think he was going to get any. What do you think about the way he runs? And
I just feel like Elijah is an all-around back. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can play like he 240 pounds, and he runs like 190 pounds. You got the speed, he got the physicality, and he got the mindset. He's just a great overall back.
What have you learned about Juwan Jennings over these last few weeks? And how he's allowed himself to be in position to make plays like that touchdown?
Juwan is the moment is never too big for Juwan. At practice all week, the energy that you see out there in the game is
what he brings to the meeting rooms, the walkthroughs, the practice. And we know, like, his time is going to come for him to come out there and go make plays.
How good does it feel to finally get your 1,000-yard season, reception yards in the season?
I mean, it felt good, but it also felt good to get the win, too.
All right, guys. Thanks, Debo. We got a D's here for you.
Said that he thinks you've been one of the better players on the team this season. What has been the change for you these last 7 weeks?
Really, for me, I think I just really just trusted myself, just being more comfortable with who I am as a player and not always trying to be like somebody else. I think early in my career, I would constantly it was the right thing. Obviously, Fred's one of the best linebackers in the game, if not the best. Then you had Quan Alexander here and Malcolm Smith, who was a Super Bowl MVP. So I think as a rookie, you like, oh, man, be like this guy, be like that guy. But at the end of the day, I'm not them. I can only be myself. So I had to really learn how to play off my own strengths and, build up my weaknesses, and because they're different from the next player. So I think just really focused on that this past offseason is just really, seeing, what got me in the NFL in the first place, playing the way I play, and then just fine-tuning those things and getting better. So.
Take us through what you saw in your interception.
Yeah, so we just made an adjustment at halftime. They had kind of completed that pass a couple times, and I remember we just talked about changing up the coverage a little bit and just reading three-step. That's just something that we're always supposed to do. And I was able to just slide underneath it, and he threw the ball. And DJ, I know they said DJ had the pressure on it, so I was able to get him to throw the ball out and just made the play. So.
Not Fred without Dre.
I'm sorry?
When you're out there at the end, with no Fred and no Dre, what's that like for you? Just how much more responsibility is that put on your plate?
At the end of the day, those are, my guys. I think our whole room is so close, from the top to bottom. So when you have both of them go out, obviously that's a huge hit. And then you got Marcel and Demetrius come in, and I think that for us, we just play off of each other, and we just have each other's backs. So, it wasn't like I was like, oh, crap, what's going on? You just kind of keep chugging, keep going. Fred and Dre are right there on the sideline. We're all talking, we're all communicating with the rest of the guys. And I think you just see us all just play together, play for each other.
Did your responsibilities change when those two went out, or you still do the same job and expect the two guys to come in to do their jobs?
Obviously now I go to the mic, so my responsibilities did change from that aspect. But, obviously you get the green dot or whatever. But I think even from that aspect, Fred, when he has the mic in his head, in his helmet, he's communicating, we're all communicating. So now it's obviously me. I might be giving the call, but it's the same thing. The guys that I'm in with, they're communicating as well. I think that's what helps have a really good defense is when you got multiple guys communicating the calls and helping get everything lined up.
You really stress with this defense playing fast. How do you go about playing fast and getting downhill quickly and getting to the ball without being reckless about how you're attacking it?
I think it's just trusting your keys. Once you see it, then go. So I think it's different times where you start to anticipate things, and anticipating is great. But if you're wrong, then it's So, just trusting what your eyes see and just playing true to that, and then just kind of let your instincts and your body take over. So that's how you really play fast. And I think that from top to bottom, all the guys in our room, from the linebacker standpoint, but our defense, these guys, we all play fast. So once you just trust your keys, physically, everything else is going to take care of itself.
When you say make an adjustment at halftime, are you talking about D'Amico or James Becher or Fred? Who's
No, yeah, just defensively. We just changed up how we were going to do some things, and it just so happened that I was the guy that made the play.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
After the pick that you threw, what was Kyle's message to you, and how did he deliver that message?
Just like normal. He always approaches me face to face with it, and it just really had to get to my check down. It wasn't the look we were looking for, and I tried to be aggressive on it, but yeah, just can't do that.
Well, I was going to say, it looked like he was a little bit, pissed off.
Oh yeah, well, naturally, it wasn't a good decision. I got to be better than that with it. Just take the check down. They were giving those to us early, and I just need to be more efficient with those.
How big of a point was it once you got to 3rd and 11 down there towards the end of the first half before you guys had the timeout? Could you talk about just how pivotal of a moment that was in the game?
Yeah, just the whole drive, I think, really it was important for us, I think, just getting that, and then we got the kickoff in the second half really, gave us a little edge there. I think, we executed pretty well, got it all the way down there, and, yeah, felt good about it.
Red zone, that's been an area where Kendrick Bourne in previous years has been valuable for you. Does Juwan do some of those same things? Does he have that same short area quickness that Kendrick had?
Yeah, him and Mo both. They both do a great job of separating, just their explosiveness. They're, bigger guys, so most big guys can't move like that, but they just find a way to create space and, make the throw easy for me. Juwan had a great route on that on the touchdown.
There were a couple of times that Brandon Ayuk was wide open. I think both were 30-yard completions. Why did he get so open, and what's been the change that's made him, so available the last few weeks?
I think guys helping guys out, clearing out a couple coverages to replace him with BA. That was big for us early on. And just, I don't know, the guys, it's in the locker room, it's day-to-day, just face-to-face. The guy's a different guy, and it's a good thing for us.
Times when you give the ball to Mitchell and then you think, oh, that play didn't go anywhere, and then you look up and it's 2nd and 5?
Multiple times, yeah. It really, when he gets hit by that first guy, it's just he doesn't stop. And the O-line, they help him out too with the little push. When you can make a 1-yard run into a 4 or 5-yard run, it lasts for a lot longer.
You movement up in the playoffs, you're like a game out of 5th right now. If you can really amazing. Do you look at that stuff, and in some sense, you think things are sort of breaking your way right now?
I mean, you always have it in the back of your head, the position where you're at and everything, and the other teams around you. But I think we've been taking a week-by-week mentality and just trying to get one win at a time, and it's done well for us this last 3 weeks. So I think we got to keep doing that going forward, and we'll be in a good spot.
You guys drafted Elijah. Had you ever heard of him? And how could you have imagined in training camp that he would make this much of an impact so quickly as a rookie?
I don't know. Training camp, all the backs do a great job. Honestly, it's really cool how they could all just interchange like that, and they all have a different flavor to them. But they're so efficient with their running, and the O-line does a great job creating lanes for them with the tight ends, and it's just it's a great combination. Elijah has been great for us. Even in the receiving game, he makes plays for us, so it's all good.
Wasn't the best start for you today? Was there anything in particular that kind of locked you in and got you focused or settled down afterwards?
I don't know. I've been trying to think about that. Yeah, I wasn't happy with how it started, but just what we did before halftime and coming out in the second half, I think really helped turn the game in our favor.
I think you guys are something like close to. Go ahead, Mark.
The last game against Minnesota into your mind at all, or is it too far away to even?
We watched it for game plan purposes, but no, other than that, not really.
You guys are something like in the range of 80% in the red zone, scoring touchdowns. Can you put your finger on what it is that allows you guys to lock in and finish those drives with touchdowns?
Red zone comes down to making plays. Honestly, it's tight down there. If you get a one-on-one, that's your best case scenario, really. So it's just about guys making plays, executing the plays Kyle calls, and the rest take care of itself.
There was a report right before the game that the 49ers intend to trade you this offseason, barring a Super Bowl run. Did you see that, and what's your reaction?
No, I didn't. I was worried about the game, but I appreciate the heads up.
A few weeks ago against Arizona, you guys only ran the ball 9 times, and Kyle said that it was because the defense was loading the box and the looks you were getting. But now it seems like you're willing to run no matter what the looks are. What's different with the way you guys are approaching your running game?
It starts up front with the O-line. Those guys set the tone for us. They always have and always will. But, like I was saying before about Elijah, just when you could turn that 1-yard run into a 4 or 5-yard run, it allows you to call more runs. Being efficient on third down, I think, has played into that too. So I think those two things tied together make for a good combination. All good? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
3-5. You said, you're a good team. You have good football left. Is there a sense of relief that you pulled this off to get back to 6-5 at least? What's the sense of the locker room now?
I think we're all excited to be back in the mix and have the season in our control. We always knew, like you said, that we were a really good team, and we just had to execute better, and now we're starting to execute at the right times, and even when guys go down, we have next man up, and we have confidence in those next guys up, so definitely on the upward trend.
When Fred leaves the game, he's such an important player, vocal player in the huddle. Who sort of picked up that slack when he's out?
Z's did a really good job with obviously how he played interception and playing the run well, and yeah, I mean, you don't usually see Fred out of the game, so it's definitely a shock. But hopefully it's not too bad and we could get him back.
How much fun are you guys having now after going on this win streak and getting big wins like today?
It was a lot of fun to have Levi's excited again, and I think it was a really hard-fought game, so we were all pretty tired, and they don't make it easy on the D-line, so definitely excited, and it's a lot funner to have a victory Monday than to be looking at a loss, so definitely happy.
How were you guys able to put the pressure on Cousins? I mean, you guys, especially second half, you guys really kind of swarming all over him.
Just trying to win one-on-ones, and he definitely gets it out quick, so our offense did a good job of keeping the lead and giving us some ops at the end there.
Did that knee injury or the bandage on your knee happen on your collision with Sampson?
No, it was actually, I think after that, when I tackled Dalvin, somebody hit it and just have a little gash there.
Are you paying any attention to the playoff picture, the standings? You guys have been creeping into almost, you're in a good position now compared to a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we're in it right now, but we just got to keep winning.
Just one last question. As far as your home field advantage, do you think you kind of had that today? There was a moment there in the red zone where the Vikings had to call a timeout, and then they're at the second to final series. They were all really loud, and your players were just hyped up. Do you think that kind of felt more energy? I mean, you did win.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever they can't hear the calls they're making and they have to call timeouts, and the Levi's is getting up on third downs, it definitely helps us a lot.
Did you see Kirk Cousins line up over the guard initially before that first time?
Yeah, I knew something was off there. I was pointing at him. Whenever he goes that far out of the hashes, there's something up, and they definitely had a plan to do some trick stuff this game, so I was pointing. I don't know if that helped anything, but.
Thank you, Nick. You got a last year for you guys?
Mike, at what point did you realize that you have a chance to play today? And what was what did you have to go through to just get to that point confidence-wise where you could play?
Like I say, it's just I just have to go out there and see if I can hold the ball and stuff. But middle of the week, I realized that I'll be able to go, so it was all good.
Can you describe what you're using to kind of protect it? Kyle mentioned something to protect your finger.
It's like a little plastic covering just to make sure it don't get hit.
How much did you feel like they were trying to poke it out more than usual? Or?
Oh yeah, they was definitely trying to get the ball out, but they wasn't really trying to hit it or anything like that. Yeah.
Did you experience any pain during the game today with that?
Yeah, it had a little pain and stuff, but it turned out all right though.
The way this offense is controlling the clock in these last couple of games, do you feel like this team's trying to hit a stride, especially offensively?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I say, it's big time when you hold the ball for a long period of time, run the clock out too. So we got to just continue to do that.
Kyle said that the goal was to run for more yards, I guess, than the past few, not just attempts. Were the plays more kind of called for a little more breaking loose there? Were a little more dangerous run calls there?
Definitely. we talked about it at the beginning of the week about running the ball, and it's going to be having some openings. So it happened just like that.
The toss plays maybe would be the ones.
Yeah, toss plays. Yep.
There's a lot of talk about from other guys about your ability to get extra yards, like when you looks like you're stopped for no gain, and then all of a sudden you got 3, or you got 3, and then oh no, you got 6. And a lot of times when you're fighting for extra yards is when you lose the ball. But you seem to manage to have ball security and get the extra yards. How do you describe the way that you do that?
Really, it just starts in the room. That's just something that our coach, our position coach, Bobby T, expressed a lot about keep driving and protecting the ball. So it just starts with the mindset, and we always talk about that.
5 weeks ago in that Arizona game, you guys ran the ball just 9 times, and Kyle Shanahan said that's because that's what the defense dictated. But it seems like in these last few weeks, you guys have been willing to run into heavy boxes, and you've been able to have some success. What's changed in the running game over the last few weeks?
Really, I got to give it up to the O-line and the receivers on the edge, and really Kyle and Mike calling good plays. So it all plays out really good.
Kyle mentioned that your vision, he thinks, is maybe your strongest attribute, just seeing holes, cutting back. Has that always been the case? Is that something you've been very conscious of throughout college and now in the NFL, or can you kind of explain why you're good at that?
Like I said, that's just you're running back, so it's just you got to have vision. So it's just something that I've been having. But like I say, we expressed that in the running back room too, having vision. Bobby T, he expressed that, so that's a big thing for me.
Elijah, I'm sure you had like 30 carries in games in college. You obviously had 30 touches or whatever in the NFL. Does your body feel differently after 30 carries in the NFL than it did in college the day after?
You definitely gonna be sore after 30 carries. So, but like I say, it's all about taking care of your body, and that's something that I've been trying to do, and just ask the vets and stuff about that. So I've been doing a very good job of just taking care of my body, even after the game too.
You guys have used Debo basically as a running back the last few weeks. Do you feel like that's helped you at all?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Debo, man, he's incredible, man. Just the way he run the ball, he's a running back to me. But yeah, most definitely.
What's your mindset like during the game? Because you come out to press conferences, you're really calm, but then we see you in the game, and once you're running with that ball, I mean, you become like a demon. You're just going, and your feet are just moving.
Really, it's a different mindset on the field. Whoever's in my way, I just try to just run the ball and run over him, if anything, or run by him. So it's just a mindset that I have, and I'm gonna continue to have that. Thank you. Thank you.
What's happening?
What aspect of playing wide receiver do you enjoy most?
Just being on the field, just being out there, just with guys like Jimmy, Kittle, Debo, Fred. It goes on and on, just this shit is still, excuse my language, still a dream come true.
Why do do you think things have sort of clicked for you in the last few weeks and you've become a bigger part of the offense?
Just going to practice every day and just going hard as I can, trying to perfect my craft. Got Wes helping me out, week in, week out on a daily basis, trying to, get my routes as perfect as they can be. And as you saw today, still got, room to get better.
The touchdown catch, how often have you practiced that route and how far back?
So we practice all the routes we run in the game a bunch of times, and on that route right there, that's what I was talking about. Where I can get better is I got to be able to bring that down, and and that's just something I'm gonna keep in my mind as we go.
Well, not the one that didn't count, but the one that.
Oh, the one that counted.
I was talking about
Okay.
Who reminds that? Improving, good. But
It's the same, man. Just going to practice, we rep that play 1,000 times as well. I've caught that ball 1,000 times from Jimmy, and we capitalized when we needed the most. And it was a great ball from Jimmy, and I was just able to bring it in.
Something in the red zone that you really enjoy, that extra pressure down there?
I think I just love it all the same. Just honestly, I love it all the same. As a receiver, that's what we do. We love to score, so it comes with it. But like I said, I just love playing the game.
But yeah, you seem so, nice and likable up there, but on the field, you play with a chip on your shoulder.
Yes, sir.
How do you do that?
It just comes from, just growing up. I remember, like it was yesterday, 6 years old and walking past the baseball field and people are playing football and they're tackling. It's just part of the game I always loved about it, ever since a little boy. And to be able to still play this game is just all glory to God. And, I'm just thankful to get this win with my team today. It means a lot. Means a lot.
How exciting is it to have finally turned the season around? You guys are now in playoff position, well on your way and onto a game in Seattle.
It's very exciting, to see the position we are in right now. But, it was two teams in that position today, and for us to come out and get that win, it was big. But, we can't go to sleep. Can't be satisfied. Got to go back to work. Got a game next week.
All right, thanks, Shawan. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Have a great night.
I will.